One of the positions that I've been talking about that the Detroit Lions may need is to look at is wide receiver. Now, I was watching before it got delayed, the Hall of Fame game between the Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans. And it was two guys I was looking for. One was John Mechie III, and the other guy was Robert Woods I was paying attention for. Now, obviously, these guys are veterans and potential starters, so they were not out there yesterday. And then, as we know, that game was eventually delayed. But the Detroit Lions have quite the competition brewing at wide receiver. We know that wide receiver number one is going to be, no doubt, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Then a firm two is Jamison Williams, with Khalif Raymond being number three. Now, outside of receivers, labeled as a receiver, we've got threats. We've got Sam Laporta. We've got Jahmyr Gibbs. But who is going to step into that wide receiver 4 role? Now, the Detroit Lions only had 5 on the active roster heading into the 2023 season. I just don't like the number 5. I feel better with 6, but they only went into the season with 5. And if they do that this year, it seems like sometimes they like to alternate. I believe the year before, the 2022 season, I think they went in with 6. So it really all depends on, can they create a spot on the back end if they were to carry 6? But when it comes to that wide receiver 4 and 5 spots, there's a battle brewing between some guys that we might not have seen coming. Now, we traded for Donovan Peoples-Jones at the trade deadline, and he was a non-factor in the second half of the season. And a lot of you guys were like, well, he just got here, which is true. Now he's had an entire offseason and soon to be an entire camp. And if he plays in the preseason, that's going to be an indication there. But I'm telling you right now, according to Dan Campbell, this guy does not have wide receiver 4 locked down. It looks like wide receiver 4 and 5 could literally be brand new faces on this team. There's another gentleman we drafted in the 7th round in the 2023 draft, Antoine Green, who in my opinion is a non-factor heading into year 2. So that means that the Detroit Lions may be looking outside for wide receiver 4, 5, and or 6. That's how deep this thing. Don't be surprised if a guy like Caden Davis, Darius Fountain, those guys, some new names on the Detroit Lions wide receiver roster, but also some guys will be cut during cut down day in the start of the season. But when it comes to Donovan Peoples-Jones, here's what Dan Campbell had to say. I want you to pay close attention to what he has to say.
What were your expectations for Donovan Peoples-Jones coming into camp, and how has he not exceeded, underwhelmed?
Yeah, it was to come in here and compete for that third, fourth receiver. That's what it was. We're looking for. It's a lot. So much of it is, all right, who's going to fill in for Josh Reynolds? Who's going to take that?
All right, let me just pause that right there. Who's going to fill in for Josh Reynolds? A void was left by Josh Reynolds. I know a lot of y'all say, I don't know what y'all saw. Did y'all watch the same team that I watched? It was a void left by Josh Reynolds. That is for sure. So let's give Josh his credit.
And is it by committee, or is there a guy that can is going to step up and kind of become that for us? And so that's kind of what we were looking for. And he's a guy I expect more out of too. And he knows that. Now, he's working. He works at it, man. He wants it. But we just need him to take another step here.
What are your expectations for Kirby Joseph entering his 3rd year?
And so there we go.
Kirby, I think
he's talking
another
about
one
Kirby
that just,
Joseph.
I think consistency.
And we'll pause that there. That's what I was referring to. I was referring to this guy is in a battle right now. He came in here to compete for 3 and 4. So that doesn't mean that he said 3 and 4, but I think that it's obvious that Khalif Raymond is 3. Khalif Raymond is going to be 3. That's just my opinion. I think Donovan Peoples-Jones is more 4 or 5. And if they go with 4 or 5 and not 6, then is it possible that Donovan Peoples-Jones doesn't even make the team? It really, to me, in my opinion, truly depends on the type of training camp that he has. Now, if we don't see Donovan Peoples-Jones, or we see him for a snap or 2, play or 2, series or 2, then we know that he's probably going to make the roster. But there's a chance that this guy, that we don't even, he could be 5, he could be 6. that he lets a guy like Caden Davis or Darius Fountain, who earlier in the press conference, Dan Campbell was raving about. He was saying, look, he's got some work to do, but he knows the opportunity that he has before him. If he were, and to refine his craft, if you really want to make this team. And I think that is one thing that Donovan Peoples-Jones is going to have to look out for. Now, when you take Antoine Green, again, Antoine Green was a 7th round pick. And, a lot of times I really don't know what y'all see. Like, do y'all watch what I watch? Do you keep in touch? But I understand that I am locked into this team. I really am. And I see the Detroit Lions either, there's a couple ways this can go. Donovan Peoples-Jones is number 4. A newcomer is number 5 and or 6 if we keep 6. There's another direction we could go on too, that the number 5 wide receiver is not on this team. And there's a possibility that Donovan Peoples-Jones don't even make the team. And where Antoine Green is a non-factor. This dude has done nothing in training camp. You let Darius Fountain has been getting more screen time than Antoine Green. Antoine Green is running with the 3rd team. The best I've seen him was the 2nd team. You have Darius out there with the 1st team. Donovan Peoples-Jones yesterday in practice was with the 3rd team. So don't let the past, the history, and the trade fool you. Donovan Peoples-Jones will most likely be on this team, but it's not a lock. And as far as Antoine Green, he is truly on the cusp of non-factor, like real talk. And we know that our coach is all about value. Where is your value? Is your value on special teams? Because you got to have something. And if you're going to show any value on the football field, it needs to be on special teams. We went and brought back CJ Moore, who will only be on special teams, right? So I don't know. I don't know. But leave your thoughts, man, in the comments below. I myself, now that I'm looking at it, and the Houston Texans, I watched Ben Skoranek get up there, and we went over their list the other day. They got 14 receivers on their roster. There is a good chance that a lot of Houston Texans will be cut. And I think Robert Woods, I think there's an outside chance at John Mechie, a real small percentage because of the possibility of potential this kid has. But when you got, Noah Brown and Stephon Diggs and Nico Collins and Tank Dell, and you just got all these receivers, that's 4 right there. And then Ben Skoranek, who balled out, he could be 5 or 6. Where does that put Mechie? Where does that put Robert Woods? And I think if Robert Woods is cut, we got to go get him. The way that why you got after the first 3, you don't know who it's going to be. And that to me is a problem. If you're going to have a high-powered offense, now granted, we got reliable St. Brown, Jamison Williams. But after that, what do we have? Khalif Raymond. After that, what do we have? Keep in mind, we still don't have a big body dude on our team. And now Robert Woods is not that guy, but I'm saying that's what Donovan Peoples-Jones could be, the closest we have if he steps up. So I wouldn't be surprised, man, if these guys, I don't know, man, it's going to be this is the most exciting I think I've been for a preseason in a very, very long time. So I wanted to, before we got off, the links in the description, man, every one of them is football related. You have NFL Plus. If you want to watch the preseason games, the Detroit Lions, and you're out of market, NFL Plus is a great way to do that. You can check the link in my description. Also wanted to kind of shout out these guys here, man. You guys know that they sent me this mini helmet here from Green Gridiron. Obviously, there's a visor on it. You can't really see it from this shot. My goal is to get my own custom-made helmet along with the Detroit Lions helmets. The black alternate is really my favorite, but I got to get the classic one as well. So it turns out that during the month of August, they are having a sale on youth and adult field use helmets if you are into that. Or also the collectibles are coming up as well. So you can save $50 off your youth helmet or save $100 off your adult helmet. I don't know if those are field use helmets exclusively or the collectibles as well. I guess you'll know if you try to check out at that point. But man, I am so excited about what is brewing for the Detroit Lions season. I think that we have the potential to be one of the best offenses in the league again, if not number 1. I think we're going to fall somewhere between 1 and 3. That's where I truly believe that we're going to settle. And I think there's an outside shot that we can have the best offense in the league. But as Dan Campbell said, we have to have there has to be a replacement for Josh Reynolds. And I tried to tell y'all that. I've been telling you that since he left. You're trying to discredit this guy. Josh Reynolds was a guy who we are going to miss. And a lot of you guys in the comment section, Dan Campbell effectively said, we're going to miss him. We need somebody. We're going to miss him. So we need somebody to step up. If they don't, we will miss him for sure. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think the Lions will carry 5 or 6 wide receivers? Right now, with what you've seen coming out of camp, who would you have as 4, 5, and or 6? And who could you see, or who on another team that realistically could be cut that you would want to play for the Detroit Lions? Because I think Robert Woods is a guy that season. If Robert Woods came in here, he would be the oldest wide receiver in the room, be able to mentor these young guys. And I think that mentorship, we need that. I think every level of our team needs a mentor. And our wide receiver room right now does not have that, as far as I know. Like a legit producing mentor, not a guy like Traquan Smith. Sorry, Traquan, but it's just reality. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You guys are awesome. Don't forget, this channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. Keep your eyes peeled for the giveaway coming this week before the preseason game on Thursday. I'll let you know, meaning it'll happen before then. And yeah, man, take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. I think I checked all the boxes for this video.